Good morning. It is August 16th. The middle of August? I'm starting to feel like all those people on TV that go, "Can you believe it is?" Yes, time does fly.
Our anniversary is tomorrow.
Jim is informing me that we have an anniversary tomorrow. It's a good thing somebody remembers. I thought it was the 18th. No, it's the 17th. I'm looking on the wedding certificate. We'll find out who's really right. We celebrate every day, it doesn't matter. And therefore, I can tell you welcome. Thank you for being here at the Sanctuary for Spiritual Living, either in the room or online. We are so grateful for those of you that come in online and join us for a morning of inspiration and of good news and good ways of being and learning how to be in life in a way that is productive and positive. I want to say thank you to the people that make today possible. That starts with Jean up in our balcony doing our AV. Yes, making it possible for us to be heard in the room and online, be seen online. And he has working with him Danny Eckhart on the Facebook as the host. And so thank you to Danny, because that position of interacting with the Facebook community is so important for us. We want to be good hosts, and we want to create community in every place that we go. So that includes being online and finding out how to be an online community. So I'm also saying a word of thank you for Christy Cohen and David Olivas, and saying thank you particularly to David for last Wednesday night, and mentioning online David, his wife Jill, and their friend, the other David, who's David Ellis. They were spectacular in our summer concert. If you have not had a chance to view that, I'm encouraging you to go online on our Facebook page and listen to a fabulous, fun evening, because they sort of led us into what being in a jam session is like, is what I thought. And with the humor and the delight of the music and the co-creativity of it all. It was really wonderful to be with you in that way.
Fun to play with you guys. We had a blast.
It was good. Tell Jill thank you.
Oh, I will.
Yeah. Our maker watched our thing today so that she see the other thing. All right. Also, I want to say thank you very much to Terri Thayer, our practitioner today. And Terri is did our pre-service meditation at 10:30, and she will be doing the invocation during our service today. And afterwards, if you are interested in individual prayer and you're in the room, you can meet with Terri on the west side of the sanctuary for prayer about anything that is concerning to you or that you want to transform. You can also turn in prayer requests. And I'll get into that in a minute. I want to say one more thank you. I want to say thank you to Sue Holland, who is doing our potluck today. She is organizing that with all of the good food that's been brought in from various people, places, and things. And so it's going to be a great potluck, and I hope you're hungry because there's a lot of food. So, and if you're watching online and you're hungry, why don't you drive on over? It'll work. So I would like us to do our vision statement. It is on the front of our program. It's, if you will repeat it with me, Danny is also putting it up on the feed. We are a vibrant, loving community and an inspirational resource for spiritual awakening and personal growth. And that is what we are. I also want to mention our ministry of prayer. It is very easy to turn in a prayer request and have spiritual support immediately from all of our practitioners and ministers. We get 21 people praying for you immediately. Out of that, 6 of our practitioners are practitioner emeritus. All are active practitioners. And what a great team of people to have hold your request in sacred understanding and to allow it to go into the universe and create. So we're going to talk about how creation happens today as we look at wholeness from the point of view of the law, the soul section, and that will perhaps clarify how prayer works in this world. So I just invite you, if you're interested in turning in a prayer request, you can do that by going online at somchurch.org and clicking on the link for prayer request and filling out that form and sending it on. So with all of that said, it's time for our song, and this song is one that we sing at Asilomar. I absolutely love it, and it's sort of the one that encapsulates how I would like you to remember me. So.
All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. That's it. All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. Deep the joy of being together in one heart, and for me, that's just where it is. As we make our way through all the joys and pain, can we sense our younger, truer selves? Here we go. All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. Someone will be calling you to be there for a while. Can you hear their cry from deep within? Laughter, joy, and presence, the only gifts you are. Have you time? I'd love to be with you. All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. We can sing it to each other. All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. One more time. All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. Love you.
Okay, we can go home now. Christy, that was so lovely. Thank you. I remember the first time I heard that at Asilomar. Chris was kind of singing it to me, and I became a blubbering idiot. And now I still have to work very hard to hold the blubbering at bay, because I don't know of anything that touches me more than that song. So, welcome. Good morning. It's good to see you. My name is Teresa Thayer. I know you think I'm Terri, but I'm trying to be more, I don't know. I've never been Teresa. I'm going to be 77 next month. It's about time I try it out. So I am a practitioner here. I have been since 2014. And I love every minute of that, too. This is an amazing, amazing place. So the affirmation for this morning, when I do the affirmations, I've got all these Ernest Holmes books on the shelf on my desk. And I've got the practitioner library, and I've got the used book place. So I just pick up a book and open it until I find a sentence that works. And then if that sentence works a little farther, I include that too. But if not, I'll go to another book and find another sentence that not only works as an affirmation, but works with the sentence before. And this one, I believe it involves 4 books. And I kind of like it. I thought it was pretty good when I finished. But somebody asked me where the affirmations come from. And I can't tell you a page in a book, so just read them all, you'll find them. So let's turn to this part of your program. These are earnest words, and then we'll do a little prayer. I am a spiritual being in a spiritual universe governed by laws of intelligence. The law of mind in action is the final law of the universe. Life is for me, not against me. Everywhere I go, things will be made perfect before me. All is well. Thank you, Ernest Holmes, wherever you are. Okay, let's get ready for a little prayer. Get comfortable, however that works for you. Close your eyes or take a soft focus somewhere, and know that in this moment, we are exactly in the right place. This is where we are meant to be. This is where we come to learn. This is where we come to celebrate. This is where we come to grieve. This is where we come to meet old friends and to establish new relationships. This is our church. Our church is 71 years old. The philosophy is older, but the edifice has been here. Because people studying this teaching decided that they didn't want to do it in buildings spread out. They wanted a place where they can come together. They found this land. They found an architect. They discussed what they wanted. And they built this beautiful, beautiful building that houses so many memories and so many prayers and so much joy. That's why we feel good when we come here. Because this church, while it is impressive on the outside, as we are impressive on the outside, it's when you walk inside that you are touched by the beauty and the peace, the mural, the colors, the wood, the shape, all come together to create peace and calm, just as our inner being, our inner place of sacredness comes together to create peace and joy and beauty within us that we can then take and go out into the world and share, as we can when we have attended a church service. So I speak a word of blessing today on all of those people who had a say and a hand in creating this place for us. I speak a word of blessing on the Board of Trustees. I know that as they come together during trustee meetings, the one overriding principle is we're doing the best for the church. We are guided by the divine. I speak a word of blessing on Reverend Chris, who has led this congregation for quite some time and brought us to where we are today with the upkeep and the improvements to the buildings. But more importantly, with the upkeep and the improvements to ourselves. I know that she labors to do the very best for us. I see that on a practically daily basis, and I am most grateful. I'm grateful for all the volunteers who come here, whether it's to prepare food or clean off the stage. Whatever people come and are guided to do, because that also contributes to the upkeeping of the church and the upkeeping of themselves. Because we know that we cannot serve others without benefiting from the service. And so we come here, because that service is accompanied by joy and happiness. And if it's a cleaning Saturday, it's accompanied by donuts, which we all realize are very important when you're doing work on Saturday. So to everyone who has ever said a word in this building, about one of our members, who has ever sought the divine help that we know is available, I say thank you, because your consciousness contributes to what we are today. The peace and the joy and the knowledge that all is well. Life is eternal. And there is only God. What a beautiful way to live our lives. So I release these words into the law of God, knowing that in truth and in peace, it is already done. And so it is. Amen.
I've heard it said that we're small and alone on our path, but my mind is set on a life greater than that, and my heart is open wide. My heart will be open wide. All that's good that flows from above and below. I am that, I am that. All the joy and love that a life can hold. I am that, I am that. All that's good. Some say the answers I seek are found on my knees, but I listen inside to the whisper, I'm all that I need. And my heart is open wide. My heart will be open wide. All that's good that flows from above and below. I am that, I am that. All the joy and love that a life can hold. I am that, I am that. All is good. Oh, all is for me.
Thank you, Christy. That was beautiful. Well, good morning. We can do better than that. I'd like you to yell at me. Good morning. Thank you. I knew there were more of you here. So here we are in a series of talks looking at what wholeness means. And I'm looking at it from 4 different directions. I want to explore spirit, which we did last week. And this week we are looking at what Ernest Holmes calls soul and law. So it's like a 2-word answer, and I'll be explaining that. And also, we will look at it from the level of mind, which is next week. And finally, from the level of body, because we believe that the universe is one indivisible wholeness. And all of these aspects are whole and holy being, and how the universe, God, creates and lives and expresses itself in all ways. And so, unlike some religions that will tell you that the body is not holy and is corrupt, we're going to tell you that's not true, because it comes out of divinity, and there's nothing else for it to come out of. So today we're looking at soul, and Ernest Holmes gets the term soul from the term psyche. And that's a Greek word, and it stands for the soul of the universe. And he is talking about it from that universal perspective. So when he says soul, it's not like many people think of that as the essence of their being. It's like that's what is within me and who I am. And for Holmes, we look at this from a universal space. And when we are talking about that we know we are the emanation of spirit, we would call that our essence, our spiritual essence. And Holmes prefers that word. He goes back to the Greek understanding of levels of being that are God. And so that's where we get some of this jargon that sounds so funny to people when they first hear it. And I have to tell you that even within religious science, these words have multiple meanings. And so it's like when you go to the dictionary and you look up a word, oftentimes you get that it has a number of different ways it can be used. You're going to see that here too. And so in this case, we're talking about soul from that point of the center part of the teaching symbol. So the teaching symbol, as I said last week, starts out with a circle representing the wholeness of the universe. It is then artificially divided into 3 parts just so that we can understand how it works. In reality, none of these are separate. There's always a wholeness that is going on in them. But for us to, sort of get it, we have to tell a story around it. And we have to get a visual aid that helps us. And that's what we're doing with this division of these divine ideas. So at the top of this circle is spirit. In the center level is this thing that Holmes calls soul. In the bottom level is this thing that we call body, the body of God, which is also all of the manifest universe. As we look at soul, it's a complex concept because it has more than one function. It has a way of being in the world. It's a collective awareness. And so soul has within it the memory of everything that has happened, everything that is happening, and everything that can happen. So it actually has all possibility in it. And that is what we call the collective consciousness. Ernest Holmes coined a phrase called race consciousness, meaning the human race. It was an idea of the entire race and our thought impressing and being collected within the soul. that that's sort of a complex idea, but Carl Jung liked it. He didn't take it from us, but he also came to an idea that there was a collective subconscious, and that it was the container for all of the archetypes and all of the models and all of the history and everything that had happened. And interestingly enough, because it is subjective, subconscious, it is always at play and can bubble up within each one of us with these different concepts and ideas that have been accepted by humankind. And they're not always right. So I want to get that out. It's like when we have had a lot of belief in a misunderstanding, then, like the idea that one race is superior to another race, if we've had a lot of belief in that, that gets encoded in a collected space in the race consciousness and is available for people that are not actively, consciously thinking to access, and it will impress on them and they will come up with that idea. They may have it reinforced from other places, but it's an interesting thing to realize that there are pools of thought in this, that some of which are true and beneficial and some of which are not. And they will affect us because we are all connected within this subconscious mind. So when we understand that, we begin to become aware of the thoughts that may come to us and to say, that one's not mine. I don't believe in that. Or give me some proof. I was listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson last night, and at one point he made the comment about AI, and he said, you got to understand, AI does not give you 100% accurate information. He says, as a matter of fact, when I go and look at AI and I ask it a question that I know the answer to, and let's face facts, he knows a lot, that I know the answer to, AI gets it right only about 85% of the time. And he says, so you have to learn to take a look at what are the sources for AI's information and is it accurate? Well, I would tell you that that's the same thing that you have to do with the race consciousness. These ideas bubble up and you look at it and you say, does that match up with what my understanding of truth is? And if it doesn't, then you say, well, that's one of those 15% things that's not right. And I'm not going to go along with it. And so it's that simple. If we know that the divine created everything and is therefore inclusive, whenever I come up with something that tells me that someone or something is outside the realm of the divine, I know immediately that that's a prejudice, a prejudgment that I have, and that may have come up in the race consciousness, and it's my job to clear it away and to release it. Because every time I move away from one of those false beliefs, I drain that pool of thought. And every time I reinforce one that is positive, I create a larger pool of that idea so that it is coming up more often in the collective consciousness. Do we like this? This is a positive way that we are affecting the world. And it's happening automatically, but it takes our conscious awareness to do it. Now, that's one part of soul. And another part of soul is the fact that it contains within it a creative medium. And this medium is the spiritual substance waiting to take form. So Ernest Holmes, he said, since I was ad-libbing there for a while, I got out of my notes. We'll see what he said. Holmes tells us that the word soul is to be used as the universal soul, which I did say, but he likes to explain it like the creative part of it, like the creative soil. And so he often, he came off the farms in Maine, and he likes to say, this is the way you can understand it. Now, all science likes to, and religion, likes to use metaphor so that we don't get trapped inside of ideas that are so complex we can't understand them. And so he says that the creativity, the creative law that is also within soul, using the creative medium that is also stored in the soul, is moving to create something new. And that it is just like taking an idea, seeing it as a seed. And if you look at a seed to something, it has 100% of what is needed inside it for whatever that seed is going to become. Holmes likes to say, if you plant a rutabaga seed, you're going to get a rutabaga plant. You're not going to get cucumbers, And so this space of the seed goes into the creative soil, which must produce an outcome identical to the seed. So there's not that the soil can say, I'm not so fond of rutabaga. I cook with it a lot, so I'm very fond of rutabaga. But, the soil doesn't get to say, no. I'd rather do something else. I'm so tired of that. It's instead, the answer is always yes. Always yes. And we get the metaphor from the creation story in Genesis, where God says simply, let there be. And there is. Let there be light, and light shines forth. Because there is nothing in opposition to the Logos, to the Word of God. And that word is selected and chosen by Spirit. And Spirit simply speaks it into this creative medium, and the law makes it happen. It becomes the body, the light of the divine. And so when we see that, we start to understand how creation goes on. I think it's important for us to get that, because there's no opposition to what God selects. Let's look at the fact that for many of us, if we're looking to create something, we get into an argument about what it is that we're thinking about selecting. And this happens a lot, But I'm going to tell you, God doesn't say, let there be light. Well, I'm not really sure about that. Gray might be better. I wonder if, is this going to be valuable to my creation and my understanding of myself? Wait, am I really worthy of bringing forward light? See, God does not get into that conversation. God doesn't say all this stuff that we can get into when we have an idea about how something can be. And so instead, we take a look and say, let there be. And the divine, co-creating through law, brings forward what is, without resistance. Now, yesterday we saw a movie, and it was really great. And we had a great discussion afterwards. But one of the metaphors in the movie was this idea of the ocean and a way of understanding our oneness. But I also want to use it as a way of understanding this divine substance and how it takes form. So when you're looking at the ocean, it may appear flat, but something moves it to create a wave. And that wave comes up emerging out of the body of water that we call the collective consciousness here. Comes and it emerges out and creates this wave that is traveling across the ocean front. And at some point, the wave crashes in on itself and merges back into that is itself. Well, that's what's going on constantly in consciousness, is that things are being created, they emerge out without ever losing connectivity to the wave, And then when they are complete in their expression, they move back into that oneness to individualize again in a new way, and to do that over and over and over again. And I think if we can take that as a picture of understanding how creation is always evolving. It didn't stop on day 7 of creation. That's simply where the metaphor got completed in the story. But the fact of the matter is that creation is ongoing, continuous, and always bringing forward something new out of itself. An important thing that Holmes says is that this creative spirit that chooses is always working hand in hand with this creative law, and you never find one without the other. And he says it's very dangerous. We're separating them so we can understand their roles, but it's dangerous to start to think that there's one and not the other. And so we see that everywhere present is both spirit and soul and law operating to bring forward itself as an individual expression in body. So these things are always going on, and for me, I think it's important for us to understand that. Another aspect of how this law works is that it works individually through us, because you see, we're created in the image and likeness of God. And what does that mean? It certainly doesn't mean what do we look like, because when you look across the spectrum of humankind, you see all this divine variety. And we're beautiful, you know? Humankind is so beautiful. And we see all these different ways that it's expressed. And each of us has a certain level of choice in how we bring that expression forward. You know, I don't have the ability to change my basic structure. I'm going to be so tall. I do have a way of going up and down in weight. I notice that. I also notice that my hair, over time, has decided it likes white, you know, and only in some parts, though. It's not all over. So there's some things that seem to be going on that I may or may not have as much control over. And yet the nature of my life has a lot to do with the laws, with the choices that I have made. It also has a lot to do with what Thomas Troward called the law of averages. And I think this is important for us to understand, because in this race consciousness, there is an average life. And we are being affected by that whether we realize it or not. That average life has a certain amount of great news and a certain amount of struggle within it. And it is how we use those events that determine how we act in life, how we are in life, and our level of peace and love and all of those things. And so it's how we choose. But this average life is not bad. May not be all that we want, but it's certainly not a bad thing. And we respond to it and say yes or no as we awaken. Now, because we become aware that our thought and our word is powerful and creative, we become aware of how to begin to think that in a way that creates the most powerful positive responses and conditions to life. We're not going to always control every aspect of our being, but we always have control over how we respond to it. And I think that's one of the most important things for us to begin to understand. We're not bad because something happens to us out of this law of averages, out of this race consciousness. We're not good because something happens to us. We're simply in the game. And what we do is notice that the way that I respond to it, where I have complete and perfect freedom, is that I can respond in a positive, powerful way and move towards something new or something different, or I can sink down and think that there's nothing that can be done about something and not know how to deal with it and get that too. So our responses to life and to situations are important for us to look at. We want to know that we can impress upon this law and we can create, and we do create. But we're complicated. And what I notice is very few of us absolutely have solid and complete focus on one thing. You know that conversation I said God does not have with itself? We have. We say, oh man, I think it'd be really good to do this thing. And then we go, well, maybe I'd like a different color. Or maybe, I think I want to buy, let's just say that we're looking at buying a house. I think I want to buy a house. I think I want it to be in this city. Well, maybe not, because, there's a better advantage in that city over there. And maybe I can afford it better and that, And so we start to get into this conversation that actually stops the creative process because we're not clear. And then the interesting part is that, which I will get into more next week, we add our emotion to it. And we start to have that feeling level of, oh, you know what, am I really worthy of this? And all of the things like that come up. And we stop the creative process midstream because we're arguing with ourselves over whether or not it's what we want. And so part of what we look to do is to get clarity and to bring a commitment to what it is that we're looking at. And we want to remember we always have freedom. If you're moving along in a certain direction and you begin to evaluate the situation and you say, this isn't working for me, you have the right to change. When, just to let you know how free this is, when I know I'm going to offend people because I'm going to talk about food, and there's no way to talk about food and not be offensive to somebody. So when I was 25, I got divorced. I couldn't afford meat. That's, as much as that might sound funny, I had to choose, pay the rent, buy the gas, have enough food, but I couldn't afford meat. And so I went vegetarian. And I decided to study it. And then if something funny happened, I realized I felt better as a vegetarian than I did as a meat eater. This from a woman who was brought up in a family that was meat and potatoes Midwest, And it was like, wow, what a novel thought. And so I became a vegetarian for 27 years, a long time. Longer than that, I was 37. And then, back then I was 25, right? Now, at 60, I begin to realize that I'm not feeling good anymore, that there's something that's not working for me anymore. My body's changing, and I'm starting to have trouble with things, and I realize I'm not managing my protein well. Now, so I thought, well, let's go back and put in some healthy meat. And so I put in healthy chicken and fish and let myself have those things. And little by little, a little bit, I'm still probably more vegetarian than I am a meat eater, but I'm definitely an omnivore. And I begin to feel better. So my point is, if the point is that the reason that I went to vegetarian in the first place was to feel good and that was no longer working, I have the total freedom to change. And so do you. And I'm not recommending how you should respond to your body, because the important piece is that you are responding to this unique vessel that you live in, which is your body. So I'm not telling you how to eat. I would never get in that discussion. I don't want to hurt myself that way. But what I do know is that when you pay attention to yourself, you will know what to do. I know that. Thich Nhat Hanh says that. Thich Nhat Hanh says, to meditate means to go home to yourself. Then you know how to take care of the things that are happening inside you, and you know how to take care of the things that are happening around you. And so the point is, we get quiet. We listen. Is what I am doing and choosing leading to a greater quality of life? Am I experiencing greater happiness and joy, more love, more of the sense of freedom, more of life itself? Am I experiencing the good that I desire? And you make your choices according to that. And you course correct along the way when you find that something isn't really working. You know, if there's a relationship that feels out of harmony, is there something that you need to do or bring forward in yourself? Or has the relationship hit a natural end through a process of growth? I'm not saying we just throw people out, but what I am saying is you have to look and say, can this be repaired and brought back into harmony? My answer to that is generally yes, if both people want it. If one person doesn't want it, you can't make them do something against their own free will. And that's a bigger thing to understand too. And so we work on this at our personal level. I do want to make a comment here because there was one point when I had a student who told me, he got very disillusioned. And this young man was very sports-minded. And he had a sports team that he felt like was absolutely supposed to win the Super Bowl, and he was bound and determined that his prayer for that team to win would make it happen. And so he very diligently prayed for that. He had total focus on it. And when it didn't win, he had a real crisis in faith. And I think that that's realistic. Because he had started on something that he thought he could control that's not his to control. Because you know what? If you look at who's going to win a game, you've got to take into account the consciousness of every single person that is on the teams that are playing, the coaches, the trainers, the people that are the fans, and also the family around all of the players, and all of the people that have just as much energy on this game as you do. And you have to realize that what you're going to get is a collective, primarily influenced by the players, but not solely. And you don't get to determine that outcome. Now, there's going to be times when enough people join you that you're right, you win. But there's going to be times when that collective isn't there creating, and it doesn't go that way. And so we have to know, what is my lane? What is mine that I can do something about? And we work for that, and we work with people in a collective towards common good. And so that's one of the pieces that we're consistently working with, is looking towards what is the common good, and how do I not only add my prayer energy, but perhaps my action and perhaps my conversation, and join with people of like mind, looking towards a particular good that I would like to see, and continuing to do that work. That's what happens in movements like the civil rights movements of the 50s and 60s and 70s. They were not happening alone. They were happening with groups of people coming together with an ideal that they were willing to become. And I think that's a really important idea to catch on to. So when Holmes talks to us about the law of attraction, which is another name for this law when we individualize it, how am I bringing to me the good that I desire? He says, it's entirely possible that through right thought and belief to greatly influence our environment and its reaction to us, the situations we meet and the conditions we contract. This science does not promise something for nothing. It does, however, tell us that if we comply with the law complies with us. No man can demonstrate peace and cling to unhappiness. He can demonstrate resignation, and he can call it peace, but it will not be peace. No man can jump into the water and remain dry. This is contrary to law and to reason. And then in big letters that are bold, all capitals, you would have thought he was sending out a text, he says, no person whose entire time is spent in the contemplation of limitation can demonstrate freedom from such limitation. The law itself must be willing to give, because in so giving, life is self-expressed. And he's got life capitalized. So we're not condemned to whatever might be the situation that we are in, but we have to find the way to think bigger than it, to not be caught in the circumstances of our situation to the point that we give those circumstances greater power than we give to the divine. And so we want to be able to create a better life, to create a great higher good, not just for us, but for everyone. And Holmes goes on, he says it's a great mistake to say, take what you wish, for you can have anything you like. So that's actually an error. He says we do not take what we wish. We do not attract to ourselves that which is like our thought. So we're attracting what is like our thought. Man must become more if he wishes to draw a greater good into his life. So it's like I need to change my thought and change some of the stuff that may come up that's been supporting the beliefs and move those away too. And so if I am looking to wanting an improved situation in my life, and yet I am focusing also on something that's not positive or life-giving or coordinated with this thing that I say that I desire, where am I giving more of my creative energy? I'm going to divide that up, and then I'm going to not get the result that I want. So Holmes says, man must become more if he wishes to draw a greater good into his life. And what is it we're to become more of? The very qualities of spirit that were created and put within us as a unique package. When you want harmony in your relationships, you're looking for love, but you forget that you need to become it. You need to become the song of God. You need to become the great harmony. You need to focus your attention on that and bring that forward within yourself and allow it to come into the relationships. If you are looking to bring more love into the world and you're wanting to volunteer, you want to be sure that your volunteering is coming out of that sense of love and light. And it's like, this is who I am, and I want to give from that overflow. And so we have to be willing to take a look at what is it that we desire. If I want more joy, maybe I need to develop my sense of humor, you know? If I want more joy, maybe I need to be willing to look on the lighter side of life or deal with these things that might be holding me back, that are beliefs about how life works that are not joyful. You know, if I think that it's hard for me sometimes to think of examples because I don't think this way. But if I'm going along with something I've heard that says, well, life's hard, then what I'm doing is creating that when I say yes to that. And when I begin to notice that creation is automatic, that it's easy, that there's not any effort for the plant to grow. I water it, I pull the weeds around it, but the plant itself knows how to come forward from that seed and become the thing, and I can't make that happen, but I can allow it to happen and allow it not to be choked off by the interference of thoughts that don't support it. And so when I see those beliefs come up, I start to ask myself, what is the greater truth? if I believe that I live in a friendly universe, and then I think everybody's against me, I don't really believe in a friendly universe. I really believe that everybody's against me. And I have to deal with that belief prior to being able to begin to experience a friendly universe. And so I have to be willing to take a look at life and see, is that true? And if it's not, let go of that belief. I have to know that I'm manifesting from it, and that some of the proof that I might have that it's not good is actually based in the way that I've used it to demonstrate life. And so I begin to look and to release and say, well, what would happen if that's not really true? What would happen if the universe really is friendly? What would be my response to life if I take that on? He says, I'm back to Ernest Holmes. He says, the law is a law of liberty, but not a law of license. It is exact and exacting, and unless we are willing to comply with its nature and work with it along the lines of its inherent being, we shall receive no great benefit. Every man must pay the price for that which he receives, and that price is paid in mental and spiritual coin. And so we look and say, what is it that I desire, and what must I become to have that? What must I become to have that? Holmes goes on and says, as we sow, so we must reap. But here is no real limitation, for the creative life wishes us to have all that we can use if we keep our thought fixed upon the idea that this energy, which is also intelligence, is now taking the form of some desire in our lives. Then it will begin to take this form. If we change the desire, then it will change the form. Therefore, there must be a definite purpose in our imagination. And so we have a purpose. And if I'm looking again, I think I'm sort of stuck on housing right now because I have an apartment that is coming up for rent at the end of the month, and I'm looking for my perfect tenant. And within that conversation in my head is that this is going to be somebody that will love this place, that will take care of it like it's their own home. And I know that whoever that is will be someone that is in harmony with me, will let me know when there is a repair that needs to be done. So I'm imagining this person and giving thanks for the gentlemen that have been in there, who are such wonderful people, and I have enjoyed so much, and who are the answer to that prayer at their time and space. So, this is what we do. We start to say, what is my prayer? What is my mental and spiritual coin? My spiritual coin is my prayer. My mental coin is looking at what are the mindsets that I have. Do I believe that this is easy or difficult? Do I know that there are a lot of really good people in the world, and that somebody, a young family maybe, is coming towards this place right now, maybe even looked at it yesterday while my leasing agent was taking care of an open house there. Maybe it's already in the process of being filled. I'm good with that. So this space of how do I look at the situations in my life. And when I see that a situation is creating a lot of tension, am I on the right track? Because what I might be doing is looking for my perfect home and my perfect environment for my next way of being, and I may have an idea that says it should be this, and that may not be appropriate. It may not be right now. That may not be the attachment. And so I need to look and say, is that really it? Or do I want to be willing to move in whatever way there is a stirring within the spirit for me to do it? And I think it's real important for us to take a look at that. There's always so much more to talk about in this subject. And I'm looking at the clock going, oh, guess what? I'm supposed to be done. So I'm going to end this by speaking to the idea that we are artists. We may not see that as our way of being, but we are. And that what we are working with is the creative energy and the creative medium that is in the law. That the canvas we work on is the canvas of our life. That there's no error, shame, or blame in where we stand in this very moment. We have freedom to choose a new color if we're no longer happy with what used to work for us. We have a freedom to look to a new way of being and to begin to release what no longer works, even though it was wonderful before. You know, when I was in banking, I prayed a new job into being. It was wonderful for 10 years, and then it was too small. It was too limited. And I needed to pray a new way of being into that job and into my life. So there's nothing wrong with growth and with change and transformation. There's nothing wrong with the fact that life consistently is moving, and we, as the artist to our own lives, are picking new and greater and more magnificent ways to express who we are. And when our attention gets drawn to something that we see in our world that we're not happy with, we have that drawing so that we know what is it that is mine to do in this situation and to create not just my individual life, but the collective life together. And so this idea of being and taking on your artistic ability through thought, through mind, is magnificent. My prayer for you is that you perfect the artistry of life. Thank you.
I love with the heart of God within me. I sing with the voice of God within me. I rest in the peace of God within me. Everything praises God within me. I know with the mind of God within me. I pray with the faith of God within me. I trust in the power of God within me. Everything praises God within me. I am a safe and loving place, born of beauty and amazing grace. I am. I laugh with the joy of God within me. I shine with the light of God within me. I am who I am 'cause of God within me. Everything praises God. Everything praises God. Everything praises God within me. Everything.
Thank you, Christy. It's time for our healing prayer. And so I'm simply inviting you to close your eyes, if that's comfortable for you. Or take a soft focus on our beautiful mural, or something in your home that you find beautiful. And simply know that God is. God is present right here and right now. This divine love is moving in and through, around, and as all of creation. This is the love that is the great compassion, that knows there is nothing, no person, place, or thing that is outside the divine, everything embraced within the whole. It is that love that is the passion that looks forward into creation and is the spark that brings forward something new, something creative, something magnificent. God present right here and now is the divine presence, always attuned with us because we are part of it. It is that creative power that is constantly bringing the Word of God into form. And it is the form, the whole and holy being that is all of creation. God present right here and now, the great joy, the divine laughter, that is the harmony and the light and the life of God. I know it is this energetic vibration that is contained in every cell of creation. And it is greater than all of this and more. For it is the source of everything. All flows from it into form and back to it, just as the wave cresting moves back into the ocean. God present right here and now, creator, creation, and creative process, all one, whole and holy being. Each of us have been born out of this. We are established with spiritual qualities within us and yearning to be expressed. We feel the impress of that on our hearts and minds. We listen to the spark of creation and move towards it, establishing ourselves as the spiritual qualities of love and life, of wholeness, of good and more good. We are present here as joy and prosperity. And so I know the great harmony, the great song of the universe is singing itself through us, bringing forward strength and vitality in our bodies, the great music of harmony in our relationships, the wonder as we look out into the world and back into ourselves, and the miracle that we are. I speak a word of deep blessing for each of us on our spiritual pathway. For I know that there are those who have come today with prayer requests in mind, and I know that the divine is already acting on those requests, already bringing them forward, already moving in answer to the good that is desired. I know gently and easily that the divine operating in perfect order in our world is also bringing forward something great and wonderful. We co-create. And so I know that together we bring forward something wonderful. There is a blessing on every one of us and on all the groups that we are part of. There is a blessing on every city and county and state and province, every country, every part of this amazing planet that we live on. And so we send a blessing to this beautiful blue pearl as it spins in space, knowing it is rejuvenating and moving forward, and that we are part of that process of transformation and of continued growth and unfoldment. I know gently and easily that there is something good going on. There is a yearning for peace. And that yearning brings forward the reality. Peace on earth to people of goodwill. And so we become those people with goodwill for all. In this moment, I'm sending forward a blessing to all of the world religions, because I know this is the way that we come to understand the divine through our own individual cultures and backgrounds and histories. For that one truth runs through all religion. And so we send out a blessing to every church and synagogue, every sanctuary and mosque, every temple, every Guru Dewata, every single cathedral, every sangha, every house of worship, every sacred glade on this planet. For we know that the sacred is everywhere. We speak a word of blessing on our sanctuary for spiritual living, for it is here that we come to be with each other and to grow and to explore the Spirit and to find the community that supports us. We know there is great work for us to do, and we simply ask to be prepared.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
So I speak a word of gratitude for this time together. Gratitude for the love of God that has been placed in our hearts so that we may experience and express it. And thanksgiving for the creative power that I call the law that takes this word and makes it form. And so I simply release this gently into the law, knowing it's already done. And so it is. Amen. It's time for our offering, and as our ushers come forward, I want to speak a word of gratitude for each person that is giving today, and for those of you online that you can also give by Zelle and PayPal, so we have ways to allow you the pleasure of giving, which is really true. And I want you to know that what you give goes totally towards the support of this church being in the world. And so if you got value from what you have heard today, I encourage you to support it. Please say with me our sharing affirmation. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and belief. It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, Jim.
In the name of love, with a heart of grace, overflowing us, decorate this place. As it is below, so it is above. May we always stand in the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. And when the day is done, we all will sing this song, all is one, in the name of love. In the name of love, may we always be seeking out the best till we all are free, living in a world we've been dreaming of, where we stand as one in the name of love. Now when the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. And when this day is done, oh, we will sing this song, all as one, in the name of love. In the name of love, in the name of love, one more time. In the name of love, in the name of love.
I have a couple of quick announcements. I'm going to start with birthdays. George, happy birthday tomorrow. Cool. Very nice. All right. I also am saying happy birthday to David Cohen. Wednesday. Yeah, you guy. And David Peterson on Thursday. So we got a lot of good birthdays to be saying happy to. I want to thank Sue Holland for what she has brought forward today for our luncheon. Also, I'm excited about our solar project, and we still have one thing. We're still dealing with Edison, but there's still one piece left about what do we need to do. And we're getting really close, I think, to moving forward and actually having the panels. This would be really fun. This Wednesday, I'm encouraging you to come for the Sing for Joy choir. They're going to be here 7 o'clock, and they do such a great job. They're so much fun, so I'm inviting you to come on in and support our Sing for Joy choir. Very fun group of people. Martha Bass is going to be presenting her workshop, The Mask We Wear, on Sunday, August 23rd at 1:15, and it's $25. I'm encouraging you to sign up in Harmony Hall so that we know how many people are coming. Also, we have a church cleanup day on August 29th. And so let me know if you're planning on coming to that. At 9:30 in the morning is when we'll meet. We're going to be in Harmony Hall cleaning things up, both in the kitchen and on the stage, so that we're getting ready for the next season. And I love that. It's time to clean up. September 2nd, Wednesday, September 2nd, Christy and David are going to be here for their summer concert, and that is on the 50s. So if you like the music of the 50s, or if you think you might like the music of the 50s, don't know yet, come. They will be giving you a really great background to what was going on at that time, as well as what were the hit songs for that decade. And let's see. Oh, the Grace Workshop is on September 6th, and we're going to be looking at the goddess Durga. Today at 1:15, we have our Board of Trustees meeting. I want to thank all of our board members for your presence and your love that help us guide our way through this beautiful time period. So it's here we are, here we go. Let's stand for the peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, loved ones all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step we take, let this be our joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
Something wonderful is happening through me.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
And life is in my affairs.
Life is in my face.
I think it. I feel it. I know it. And I accept it. Just the way that it is.
Just the way that it is.
And just the way that it is not.
Just the way that it is not.
Amen.
I put like a gigantic neon green sticker like right there on one corner. So it's like as obvious as it could possibly be.
One time I went around so many times, there's this one man out